Hi, this is Drew Tonneson from Dell. I'm going to walk you through today failing over in an overt environment, Linux KVM. So this is just a test failover, and I'm just going to be doing a single fiber channel storage domain with a couple of virtual machines. So here you can see this is my production environment for the overt. And if I click on my storage domains, we'll see I have a storage domain called FC test, which is my fiber channel test environment, which is a 600 gig device. I have my hosted storage. Now, hosted storage will never come over in a failover environment because each environment has its own overt engine. So very much like vCenter, if you're using VMware with SRM, you have two vCenters, each with their own SRM, and then they communicate with each other. You don't fail over the vCenter to itself or bring it with it. They're two separate entities. So it's the same thing with Overt Manager. So if I come over and look at my my recovery data center, so this would be the recovery side. Here I'm only going to have I'm going to have my hosted here, and then I have a couple other domains here, another fiber channel, different fiber channel, as well as one for ISO files. So what I want to show is how to get this fiber channel domain with a couple of virtual machines in it, failed over to this side. So we want to import the storage domain into the recovery site and register the virtual machines. And we'd like to have this all automated. So in the overt world, that's going to be done through the Ansible engine. So let's take a look at our Ansible engine here in our file. So these are the files to do the failover. There's a script here called overdr, which is going to actually run our failover for us. And you can see it has a number of different parameters you can supply to it. In this case, we're just going to run a failover. Okay. So the first thing we have to do is there's no automation on the storage side. Okay. So what I have going right now is this particular fiber channel environment is being replicated. So here's our pair. So our device 152 on 1473 is being replicated to 126 on 1672 using synchronized synchronous replication. You can use asynchronous adaptive copy to do anything that's active passive. Active is going to be Metro, which is a different configuration, but here we're just looking at active passive. So the first thing I want to do if I'm just going to test it is I want to split the pair, right? So that I can actually use the R2 in a read-write mode, okay? Now I've already presented the environment on the disaster side with 126. So the environment, the hosts that are part of that environment can see the device. So it's going to be able to mount it when we run the failover script. But I've got to split it first. And 1473. So there we've split it. So we're in a split state, meaning we now have read-write capability on the other side. So we're going to be able to mount it. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to want to do is actually run the failover. So it's going to run through all the different components of the script. And for us, it's going to stop down here, which is the importation of the storage domain for fiber channel. So if we pop back out here, so again, this is our production environment, which is not going to change because we're not doing anything to it. We're not actually failing over. But if I come over on this side and I take a look at the storage domains, you'll see here the fiber channel test is locked because it's being currently imported into the recovery site. All right. So the device which was available to the two hosts in this environment read write, so it can see it now because they're split. It's going to go in, it's going to lock it, go through the different processes it needs for essentially importing a storage domain. In one of my blogs, I had gone through how to do importation manually. This is the same thing, it's just automated through Ansible. So it's going to import these, but the important part of it, once it imports it, is it's going to register the virtual machines for us at this site. So we can watch this go through. The script itself will stay here at this until it finishes the storage domain, until it actually releases it and makes it read write, and then it will come down here and complete the script, which is going to involve adding in the virtual machines. So it successfully attached it. You can see down here in the corner. Now it goes through its activating period. It does take a good deal of time to get it. So it's active there. If we come back out to our script, we'll see we're registering the VMs now, right? So if we pop back out here, we should be able to click into FC test, right? And we come out into the VM import, which now we see none. So we should see them here. And here are the two virtual machines, which are now available. And there they are. So finish launching both of them up for us. This is just telling us it's waiting for the guest agent to run. If we come back out to the script itself, we'll see here telling us the domain was added successfully. Typically, you'd expect to see the domain name here. I haven't quite figured out why Ansible is not doing this properly, but in any case, it does tell us it was added properly, and the VMs are running and everything is up. So that was just, a really simple way to run a test failover in your overt environment. If it were a true failover, the primary site would be down, and the script itself, though, would be exactly the same. You'd run it and do it. And out here in our SRDF side, instead of running a split, we'd run either a failover. Let's assume that there was an issue with the host as opposed to the storage. We might have to manually run a failover. If it was a failure of the storage itself, it would already be in some sort of a failed over state, and we'd be able to access the R2 on the failover site. So thank you.